When you get into calculus, more particularly calculus 2, you're going to be dealing with expressions that look like the one on the right here. And it turns out that expressions like this are just not that easy to work with. So we make a substitution in order to make it easier. And an example of one of those substitution is we're going to trig substitute, which means I'm going to substitute a trigonometric expression in there in hopes of trying to simplify things. So x equals 4 sine theta. I'm just going to replace every x with 4 sine theta and simplify as much as we can. So what this is going to give us, let's see, we have 4 sine of theta squared over square root 16 minus 4 sine theta squared. Okay, so let's see what that gets us. So 4 sine theta squared looks like 16 sine squared theta. Now downstairs under the radical, we have 16 minus 16 sine squared theta. And that might look like something you can manipulate a little more. So I'm just going to take a little aside. I'm not going to keep dragging along the square root and the whole expression. I'm just going to look at 16 minus 16 sine squared theta. Well, what I notice, I can factor out a 16. And if you're thinking that 1 minus sine squared theta looks familiar, you're absolutely right. 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared. Now we see the advantage. If I have that under a square root, so now I'm going to come back here and say, well, this is 16 sine squared theta over square root 16 cosine squared theta. This is something we can take the square root of. So now we have 16 sine squared theta. Square root of 16 cosine squared theta is 4 cosine theta. And just like that, supposedly this expression is easier to work with in calculus, and it is. So that's the whole purpose of doing such things. So this is an example of what we call a trigonometric substitution. It can be used to rewrite expressions. And again, you're not going to really see the use for this until much later in your mathematical career, but it's good to talk about it now while we have the, we already have the foundation to deal with this. So here it is. Thanks for watching.